guys and welcome. Today we're going to make some beautiful little bookmarks with a journaling card on them or a little notebook. I haven't made a prototype, but I have started cutting some scraps up for it. I will go through the measurements. So the length is 6 inches. So it's a good way to use up your 6x6 papers too. I'm using craft cardstock here, and by 2.5, so 6 inches by 2.5, which will be the bookmark itself. And then I've pre-cut one which will cut some more. This one is 2.25 by 5 3/4. It's going to be glued on the back once we put the little belly band thing on the front, which I'll show you. So grab your scraps. Everyone's got like strip scraps, etc. These are going to be our little journaling spots or cards. We're going to decorate the front. That is cut by 10 inches by just under 2 inches, and it's scored halfway at 5.5. So that's going to go over the top like that, and we're going to decorate that. All right, so let me put a glue paper underneath for our gluing. We want to just do some decoration on here in the way of, you know, some book page and some other decorative papers. So these ones are 6, but I don't want to use the whole 6 inches. So we're going to tear off just the edge. Actually, I might get my tear ruler a bit quicker. And then we want roughly about halfway, because I want to do a feature paper and a book page. We might tear a couple of these while we're at it. I don't really have too much of a roadmap to go off it. I'm just trying to remember how I visualized it. And I was inspired by Corey at Creating with Scraps. She does amazing stuff with even really small pieces of scrap. It's amazing. I might tear a bit more of a, you know, sort of like a more freehand edge. Okay, so this is our base, and we want to do sort of half of this one. I'm going to tear off the tops and the bottom, and half in book page like that, and I'll have the book page overlapping a little bit. So let's grab some book page. And roughly work out the thickness that you want on that as well. One can go under the other. But I really like the book page coming over the patterned paper. So I'm going to glue the patterned paper down, just using a glue stick. I find for the bigger pieces you get a better coverage. Now I didn't ink that. That's coming over. You could ink those 3 edges. I'm actually going to ink round the card, but I am going to ink the book page just to take that stark look off it, and just to age and distress it a little bit. Lovely. And I purposely haven't done them the same size. And we are going to punch a tab hole up the top there, so just down from that, getting your, so we want our belly band or our hanging band to go down roughly along here. I would probably use a bit of cardstock because you want it to have a little bit of strength in it, and you don't want it too wide. You can stamp across the top of that. I'm actually going to glue mine to some pattern paper. I'll take it right to the edge, so I only got to cut 2 edges. It's up to you. Like I said, you can leave it plain. I could have done it in craft cardstock, the same as the background. I'm going to ink the edges just to get rid of that white. So I want it about there. If I hang that, yep, so that's perfect. So I'm not gluing on the front. I'm actually going to wrap it over and glue it down on the back, and I'm going to use my art glitter. That'll just strengthen it a little bit rather than having it glued, and it gives you the full width if you decide you want to go wider with your journaling card. Now we've got that over there and we've got it glued down. It should be fairly secure, but because it's going to be a bookmark, we want to cover up the back as well. So I am going to ink using this beautiful handmade cardstock. It's like an olivey green colour. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue to glue this down just to make sure it's going to be secure. And I've cut it to perfect size so you get a border of the craft cardstock around it, because we will be inking that as well. Now we're going to ink You can ink as light or as heavy as you want. I want a bit of definition. Now you can put some decoration on here in the way of a sticker or a die cut. I'm actually going to put my decoration on the front. Because it's going to be the feature. But if you're just making a bookmark, don't put the hinge there and just decorate the front. It could be, rather than a bookmark too, you could do journaling card that way, because you can definitely journal on the back there. Use the basic concept of it, guys, and make it your own. And because we'll be seeing the inside when we open this to journal, we'll give it an ink as well. Lovely. So I want to put a die cut or something on the front, but I want to put some things in the background. So I might do a couple of strips of something, just to do, I guess, like a bit of a cluster in a sense. So I'm not really measuring. I'm just doing a few different widths of strips. And some pattern paper as well. Maybe some book page with the writing going a different way. You may already have some things in your stash that you want to use in the way of strips. I've got beside me here. You know, I've got a whole container of strips, bits and pieces as well. So, okay, so let's have a look at perhaps just layering some strips down. And I'm going to have them all different sizes, but I just wanted to get a little bit of an idea of what I want to put down there. Let's cut this pinky colour. It's a bit difficult when you're playing with really small things sometimes with your trimmers. trial and error sometimes, guys. Actually, I think I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to ink one in Scorched Timber quite heavily. The green, just the edge. And then the other one, just the edge. Now I want to work out my lengths. I think I'll go about that length. So there's no rhyme or reason in this. Just eyeballing, seeing what looks good. Trying not to procrastinate over it too much. Something as simple as that. Do I want something in the way of the background? Yep, I think I do. So I'm going to ink that with walnut stain. There's not much pattern to this paper, but it's just a slight different colour to the front cover, so it'll just define it a little bit more. And then I'm going to glue these strips down with my art glitter glue. Seeing which was which. That was the dark one anyway. And I might just make this one just a bit shorter. Give it another quick ink. So it's like a cluster in effect. Now I want to put a die cut on the top there. I'm just going to put the pin in my glue, and I'm just going to grab my die cuts out. I've got some already cut out. And to have a look at, excuse me. So you could put, we could cut that down a bit. You could put that on there. I really love that. It's actually been cut out of book page of some sort, but, or might have been pattern paper, but I actually like the back of it like that. And I've got like a rusty colour. With a bit of gold foiling. So we need something a bit more plain underneath that one. So I think we'll go with that one. We'll try and cut it so I've got some leaves down the bottom, and then we'll glue it on. That's the beauty about using double-sided paper with your die cuts, because you get a choice when you go to use them. I've used the dark chocolate side. And then inside you've got all this beautiful journaling space. You've got journaling space on the back. That will hang over the hinge. So up here we're going to put the hole so we can put a bit of ribbon through there. So I do have a punch. It's not a big one, so I'm going to have to punch it a couple of times. It's only a very small slot. So I'll try and get the middle to start with. And then I'm going to go off to each side that same length again. It gives me fairly detailed slot because I want to put some ribbon through it. Ribbon or lace. I've got some seam binding here. I might use that. Now there's a few different ways you can do this. So you can sew it. I'm actually going to thread a couple of pieces through. So I want a bit of a ruffle up there. So I'm thinking as I'm going, which is what it's all about, up there, and you can staple that. I'm going to put a paper clip on that because I want to tie it, but I want to try and keep it in a bit of a fan look like that. So I will tie it with a bit of this waxed cotton. So you can sew across there, you can staple. I'm tying a bit of twine. Go around twice so the knot doesn't slip open. Beautiful. I'm just going to snip that off. I actually like the tail ends showing, but fan it out. And there's our bookmark, guys. Bookmark with a journaling spot. Absolutely really cute. Great way to use up your scraps, you know, your 6x6 papers, your scraps as you're seeing that I've done. We might do another quick one. How are we for time? Yep, we've got plenty of time, so I'll do another one. We'll do it slightly different, but same concept. We've got die cuts here, so we might use this die cut this time, and some book page. Great. So same measurements, same concept before. Pop that one off to the side. This is a great way too to get heaps of extra journaling spots in your journal. And you know, you've got a bookmark there. It doesn't have to be a bookmark, it can be just another journaling tag. So doing the front cover of the journaling card slash, you know, notebook, because you can have pages in that too and have a whole book. in there. So you just do it roughly to the front or whatever size that you want to do it. I'm using walnut stain again, my ink of choice. And you can go as heavy or as light as you like. We're putting something vibrant over the top, so we can go a little bit more inky. That's my glue page gone. The edges. Front and back and inside. Fold that in half, it's become quite tacky. I'm not going to ink that. You can try and ink around the edge. I actually like the plain green on the front of that. And then I think we'll put a bit of a label at the bottom. So we have a look for just a small label of some sort. Maybe a number, too big. Maybe we need a different colour. Actually, I like the green, I think. Yep, I think we'll go with the green. We do need to ink, and I'm going to ink scorched timber around this one because I want a darker edge. Beautiful. I'm going to glue that down and then we'll get onto our bookmark. Put a piece of paper over it and give it a good rub just to make sure it all adheres down. Put our label on. Now the edge I'm going to go around with a little bit of scorched timber just to define it a little bit more. You can see it makes all the difference. Bit more walnut stain on the back. I didn't do it too much before because I had a bit of glue on my sponge, and it's not giving me a great look. So that's the little front journaling card done. Let's now make the bookmark. So once again, we've got our 6 by 2.5, and we want to, I might do a more defined piece of paper on this one. Might give it a bit of colour. So we're going just a fraction under 6 inches on that one. And then where we marked our, so we're going to get a very fine border. Now this one, I want to leave the back as the craft cardstock. So before we glue this down, we're going to have to put our belly band over the top, and I'm going to use this strip because it's cardstock and I know it's sturdy. I'm going to give it an ink. I'm going to ink it with scorched timber. So this will show you, before we did collage with book page and a bit of pattern paper, this one we're just using the whole patterned paper. I'm going to ink that while I'm at it. And because it's quite dark and grungy, I'm going with the scorched timber. It sort of matches what's already on there. And we sort of want to work out, you know, how far down we go. I think there's probably a good measure. Got our tabs on the back, let's glue them down. So it's sort of like a little bit of a wraparound effect. You can just glue it on either side at the front, but this way you get the whole width. And now we're going to glue our paper down. And we know that there's a border right around with our paper because we cut it marginally smaller. If I can find my bone folder under all the scraps. Now I'm going to go around the edge. These are a great gift idea too. So if you've got a friend that's a reader or that likes to journal, great bookmark for your journal. I wish I could do the back of that. And a great little note card on there, because, you know, sometimes if you're reading, you want to jot something down. Now we want to do the top, so I'm just going to put my glue back on. So I'll get my little punch out again. Find the middle. I'm just going to do one for the time being, because I'm not quite sure what type of twine I want to put on there. So I'm just going to have a bit of a rummage. Maybe this bit of, isn't it gorgeous, this grunge sari silk. Let's she might even be able to do the loop with it. You could also make that slit with your scissors too. Poke the point of your scissor in and just take it down to as far as you want it to go. Just be really careful if you're doing that though. Excuse me. There we go, guys. Another great little bookmark with journaling spot. I absolutely love them. Like I said, you know, if you're a reader, you can put a sticker on there as well. But if you're a reader and you've got this as a bookmark, then you've got somewhere to make some notes. Otherwise, great to tuck inside your journal. Treat that like a tag if you want. Tuck it in a pocket, and you've got all this extra journaling space. You can have this as also a little notepad if you want to put some extra pages in there. There you go, guys. Very simple idea. Great to have in your stash to add to your journals when you're filling them up. Great way to also use your scraps, because, you know, if you're a paper crafter, then you have lots and lots of scraps like the rest of us. But don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comment section and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks, guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.